Hi, this is Ral West. I'm coming to you today from our second home on Maui. Today we're going to be talking about why measuring performance is critical to success. As Peter Drucker said, if you don't measure it, you can't manage it. So I think it's safe to say that any business must pay attention to its data in order to prosper. I mean, imagine running a business without knowing what your sales volume is, or your costs, or who your primary customers are. These are just some of the data points that all businesses need to know in order to manage its operations and make key decisions. A few decades ago, my husband and I had a very successful and profitable business in Anchorage, Alaska. It was called Hawaiian Vacations. We operated scheduled charter air service between Alaska and Hawaii using mostly wide body jets. We carried over 35,000 passengers a year between the 49th and 50th states. But we felt trapped in the busyness of being the mom and pop, doing it all. We didn't have much of a life outside of work, and our daughters were suffering. We were suffering. Our health was suffering. We had been paying attention to the metrics in our business from the very beginning. We knew our sales volume and costs and had monthly financial statements to tell us how we were doing, but we didn't fully understand the value of the use of data until we had been in business over 10 years. It was about June of 1994. We were in Kona at the same time as our teacher, mentor, and friend, Robert Kiyosaki, who later became the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We set up a lunch with him at his hotel. We had been studying with Robert for several years at that point and had benefited from his advice many times over those years. In fact, we credit him for helping us grow our business, Hawaiian Vacations. Over lunch, he recommended a couple of books to us: The E-Myth by Michael Gerber and The Great Game of Business by Jack Stack. We bought those two books that very day, and those two books marked a turning point in our business and in our lives. There were two very significant lessons. Number one, you have to have systems established throughout your business so that everyone knows what they need to be doing and so that all the processes and tasks are done with the greatest amount of efficiency. And number two, by tracking key data and ensuring that our team understood its significance, we could foster sustainable growth and success for our business. Most importantly, we learned that if the team understood why the goals were critical to our success, they were motivated to achieve. And because we made sure that they won when we hit our targets, they were excited to work toward those goals. We immediately started fine-tuning our systems and processes, and we started sharing our financials with our team. At first, they didn't know what they were looking at. Many had never seen a profit and loss statement before. So we taught them. We set up classes to go over the financials line by line and taught them how to read the P&Ls and how to look for the key indicators of success. Soon we realized that by doing this, we had unlocked the potential to manage our business remotely, paving the way for living life on our terms. So, why is measuring performance important? Well, measuring performance is not about micromanagement. It's about achieving clarity and growth and sustainability for your business. Understanding key performance indicators, or KPIs, helps you make data-driven decisions that can propel your business to greater success. You want to measure your results to determine what is working and what is not working. And you need to set up the metrics based on the outcome that you really want. There's a trick to this principle. What you measure grows. So be sure to measure the right thing and what you want more of. I've had experience in my career of measuring the wrong thing and getting more of what I didn't want. I don't recommend that. So be sure you're measuring the right thing. And each department can have its own metrics and goals, as well as working to achieve the overall company goals. But keep it simple and stick to what matters most. In order to quantify the results you want, you need to decide on your key performance indicators, or KPIs. What do you need to know each day, each week, each month to tell you if your business is on the right track? Consider metrics in each area of the business: finance, operations, marketing, customer satisfaction, and human resources. Imagine a business running without these metrics. You have no transparency, no visibility of what's going on. You have no control, no way to really make improvements because you don't know what to improve. For example, you can have a business with very high sales, but no profit because maybe you're tracking just the revenue and not paying attention to the costs or, the production time and other things that can make you lose money. So just measuring your sales revenue is not enough. You need to track other metrics as well to tell you how you're really doing, that bottom line. Now, other benefits of tracking your performance are that it helps you identify what's working so you can do more of it. And it highlights your inefficiencies so you can eliminate them or improve them. It helps you to delegate effectively and hold your team members accountable. And overall, it just increases profitability, productivity, and your business's growth. So another thing is that data can help you adopt a continuous improvement mindset throughout your organization. What gets measured gets improved. And when you create a culture where tracking performance is a tool for growth and improvement, you get everybody focused on doing that. And you get more of a commitment to continuous improvement. So decide what you want to increase and measure it. Focus on it. By putting more attention on it, its importance will expand. Let's talk about what you're going to measure. What are the key metrics that matter? Well, of course, there's your financial metrics: revenue, profitability, what your margins are, your gross margins and your net margins. Monitor your cash flow too. Remember that if you're paying your payables in a very timely fashion, but you're not collecting your receivables, you may run into a cash flow bind. So you want to make sure that you're monitoring your cash flow to make sure you don't run out. Some other finance metrics are, of course, your total revenue, your net profit as a percentage of revenue, and your gross margin. Operating expenses. What are your operational metrics? How can you measure the efficiency of your workflows, the time you spend creating a product versus, the results that you achieve? And how can you track the productivity and accountability and have that help you in your task delegation and monitoring your team? There's some other operational metrics as well, like inventory turnover or order fulfillment time, supply chain efficiency, production efficiency. But that all depends on what kind of business you're operating. Perhaps your business doesn't need those metrics, so you have to decide. There are marketing metrics. You want to track your responses to all of your advertising and marketing activities. You need to know what's working and therefore what you want to continue doing, and you need to know what's not working so you know what to stop doing. If your marketing is primarily through websites, social media, email campaigns, you're going to want to track your website visitation, your social media interaction, your email open rates, and of course, you always want to find out what your conversion rate is. How many actual sales are you getting from all of your marketing efforts? And how many sales dollars are being generated for each dollar spent on marketing? You also want to, of course, look at the total volume of your inquiries or your leads and what is actually being generated in sales from those leads. So then you can do a ratio of your revenue to your marketing costs and look at the average dollar value of each sale and see how many sales you need to make in order to hit your targets. We talk about customer satisfaction, but actually, I like to call it customer delight. And it's a good idea to actually track this in metrics. There's a thing called a type of satisfaction score that's called NPS or Net Promoter Score. And it's based on a single question. How likely are you to recommend a particular company, product, or service to a friend or a colleague? And you get them to rate your business or your product on a scale of 1 to 10. And you calculate your Net Promoter Score or NPS by subtracting the percentage of the detractors, those who rate you from just 0 to 6, from the percentage of promoters, those who rate you at an 8, 9, or 10. And then you figure out your score. So also look at your customer retention rate. How long are you keeping your customers? This is a subject of how are you delighting your customers? The more you delight your customers, the longer you'll keep them as customers. And we all know that the cost of retaining a customer is much less than the cost of acquiring a new customer. So pay attention to that. Look at your refunds or returns. That's a good indicator as to how pleased your customers are. If they're returning or asking refunds for a lot, you have some work to do to improve your product or your service. You can also use metrics with human resources. You can track data about your employee satisfaction, your turnover rates, and overall productivity. You might want to track data on things like the number of sick days taken or job-related injuries. Safety data may be an indicator of what you need to do to improve the safety for your people. And you want to look at the overall employee performance. And other team performance metrics include, measuring your employee engagement and productivity. Some of these you're going to need to do some in-house surveys to get that information. And all of these metrics can give you ideas as to maybe what you need to do to improve your training and onboarding effectiveness, because those are ways that you can improve your team's satisfaction, their productivity, and how pleased they are with being in your company. So let's look now at turning our data into action. We want to make sure that we avoid analysis paralysis. You don't want to have so many metrics and such complicated reports that it takes you hours to review a complicated spreadsheet or report. You need to be able to focus on just a few high impact metrics. Not every single detail needs to be measured. And make your tracking simple with some dashboards and automation tools. And make sure that you're using the data that you need to improve your decision making. Be able to identify patterns and adjust your strategies according to your data. For example, if you find that your customer retention rate is low, you need to focus on improving your service and following up with your customers, making sure that you're delighting them. So when you're tracking all of these statistics, you're helping your business identify its strengths, and you're allowing management to pinpoint the areas that need improvement, and you can make data-driven decisions to enhance the business's overall performance. Let's talk for a minute more about team engagement. When you engage your entire team in the connection, collection, and analysis of the data, you're providing an element of accountability across all the areas of your business. Don't underestimate the importance of this part. You can use incentives to get your team excited about achieving various goals that are based on the statistics. We did this in our company. We had company-wide goals, and we made it very clear that when the company won, everyone would win. And when we won, we celebrated big. I mean, we had huge parties. We would take the entire company out to 5-star restaurants, hired limousines to take everybody there. We made a big deal of it. In fact, there was one time we took the entire company to Las Vegas for the night, and our family, our company, loved it. They were so excited and so engaged, so committed to making the company win, and we all benefited from that. So, where do you start with all of this? You start out by deciding on just a few primary metrics. Choose some, a few that are really critical to the whole company first. Decide what you want to measure and in what frequency you need that data. Is it daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually? Then, after you get those established, perhaps add one or two metrics per department. Over time, you'll discover which metrics are the most valuable and have the most significant impact on your business's performance. Those are the ones to pay the most attention to, especially at first. So think about what metrics could really move the needle for your business if you tracked them and got the whole team to focus on growing them. Is it your sales volume? Is it your customer satisfaction measurement, like a score or online reviews? Is it net profit or collections of your accounts receivable? Once you decide, then you need to establish a system of reports on a regular basis and make sure that you set a timeliness criteria for these reports. Getting old data doesn't do you that much good. You have to have the data on a timely basis. And you need to decide what incentives you might want to use that are the most appropriate for your business. Some businesses reward based on sales performance or safety records or the overall profitability of the company. And it's okay to have different reward systems for each department too. You might have some that are for the company overall and then different rewards and incentives for each department. The use of a metric-based management system will galvanize the focus of your team to common objectives and create the alignment that's so very important to a business's success. It's only through managing by the numbers, using consistently tracked data, that your business can grow beyond the owner-operator dependent model. With data measurement and the regular delivery of these KPI reports, you'll be able to monitor your business's performance wherever you are, freeing you to focus on other areas of the business or enjoy your life. Once we learned how to do this, we were free to buy our second home in Maui and spend time away from the business. That was something we had dreamed about for years, and when we could finally achieve it, that was amazing for us. Let's recap the key takeaways that we've talked about. Measuring performance helps you see what's working, fix what's not working, and scale your business smartly. You need to focus on the right metrics, not just a whole bunch of data, but looking at the metrics that really count. And use simple systems to track the progress and make informed decisions. So ask yourselves now, what is one key metric that you can start tracking today? If you want to dive deeper and learn more about the importance of systems and performance tracking, check out my webinar that's on my website. It's free and it's available for you to watch anytime you want. And also check out my online course that has lots more strategies for optimizing your business's performance and learning how to be the owner and not the operator of your business. Visit my website, www.ralwest.com. I'd also love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ral West. And stay tuned for news about my mastermind program that's going to be coming out very soon. That's going to be exciting. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And here's to tremendous success for you and your business.